to take control of your calendar and get more done by doing less. Doesn't that feel nice? You don't have to get more done by doing more. If you get a good system in place, you can actually get more done by doing less. So just a few things to remember as you're popping on: to turn your mics off, at least for now, turn your cameras on, and stay active in that chat. If you don't get anything else out of this time that we have together, I want you to meet somebody that you might not have known before. I want you to make a connection where you are all showing up here to dedicate to being more productive, I'm assuming, and building this habit, which means you don't have to do it alone. You can connect with somebody else here that's looking to do that same thing and hold each other accountable. You don't know, Forward Female is all about accountability, meaning that you don't have to do this journey alone, no matter what you're trying to accomplish. So connect with somebody else in the chat today. So I'll get you started here. I want you to go introduce yourself in the chat. Who are you? Why did you show up here today? And put your goals out of this hour together. And if you really want to be an overachiever, you can drop your Instagram handle too, so you can actually continue to connect with people beyond this hour. Madison is on our team here at Forward Female, so she will go ahead and drop some of our stuff over in the chat just to get it started. But go ahead and dive in, start typing, start introducing yourself so everybody can kind of know who we all are and how we're going to show up here together today. As you're going over and doing that, I'm going to introduce myself. Most of you probably know me by now, but if not, I'll introduce you. I am Priscilla. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at the Forward Female and our senior business development coach, meaning that I help women start and grow businesses every day. It's kind of the coolest job in the world, and I'm obsessed with it. I've supported over 150 entrepreneurs to either start or grow their businesses since 2019. Before that, I worked for some incredible companies like Bumble, Red Bull, Warner Brothers, and I've executed millions of dollars in partnerships. I left all of those full-time corporate jobs less than 3 years ago to start the Forward Female, which now has multiple full-time employees, and we're all dedicated supporting women starting and growing businesses. And like I said, business planning and supporting entrepreneurs is kind of my happy place and my passion. It's what I love to do, to help women realize their full potential is more achievable than you even realize, which is why I want to show you all of my tips and tricks to how I organize my days, my hours, my weeks, my months, and my years, because that ultimately is what makes up your life. I'm a big, big believer in that. So I want to show you how to do it today. All right. Yay, everybody is using the chat. Okay, so now you know a little bit about me. I'm just going to pop over here. So Anne from Santa Fe. So we got people coming in from all over. I'm here in Los Angeles, in case you're curious. Excited to learn any pro tips on time management. Maddie, good job. I juggle a lot of life goals, so any strategy would be beneficial. I get that. Lives in LA. I hope to improve my time management skills. Hi, everyone. I'm Bridget, originally from Florida, living in Paris. Ooh, how fancy. We're all living through Bridget this morning. My goal is to figure out how to move from motion into action. I'm finishing my master's degree, working full-time and trying to launch my own brand with several projects attached to starting my own business. A lot of things going on. A lot of you can probably relate with Bridget this morning, I would assume, right? There's a lot of things going on in your life. I'm not trying to say that there's not, but let's figure out how we can organize them. I love so many awesome things. Sarah, I see you. Rosemary, I see you. Tasia, I see you. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Please all continue that conversation over in the chat as we get started this morning. So I want to walk you through what we're going to go through today. So today we're going to learn how to organize your calendar for all of those projects that you're currently and aspiring to be working on. What do you want your days to actually be looking like? I want you to better understand your workflow and your habits. So this is something that I'm going to teach you how to do today, but this is going to be homework that you're going to have beyond this time that we have together this morning in order to actually build upon those habits and actually see where your time is being spent. I want to show you how to eliminate unnecessary tasks during the day and create better habits, and how to plan out your calendar for the rest of the year. So that is my goal for our time together this morning, as well as showing you in this presentation, but we're going to get out of the presentation. I'm going to walk you through some of the systems that I like and exactly how to build an ideal week too, and to where y'all can hopefully walk through it with me step by step. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end. Throughout the presentation, I'll open up for questions, but don't worry if we don't get to you during the presentation, because we're going to open it up at the end if you have specific questions for your calendar, your habits for life. Cool? Sounds good? All righty. So the big question is, do you trust me? Because all of this has to start with trust. If you showed up here today, I want you to really say, I'm willing to commit to this. I'm willing to commit to this at least for a week, Priscilla, if not for the next month, if not for the next year. Because I promise you, if you just show up here today and you do not take action, you will not see results. I'm not going to promise you any results if you're not committed to taking action. So I promise, trust me, everybody that I've worked with one-on-one, our whole team uses this system and a lot of progress comes out of it. It's the difference between being busy, doing a lot of things, but not actually making needle moving progress towards your ultimate goals, and making that needle moving progress towards your ultimate goals. So as we get started here, I like to start with a pause moment, because I know I've already filled you in with a lot of hopefully inspiration, but a lot of kind of thinking to get started here. So if you can, take out a pen and a notebook, and I have a couple journal prompts just to kind of start understanding what our objectives are, because in order to be productive, we have to be working towards something. So get those pens, notebooks, notes apps in your phones, Google Docs out, and let's get started here and taking a power in the pause. Let me see, what else is going on over here in the chat while everybody's pulling those out. Hi, everybody. I am Anna. I'm looking forward to getting some tips that can help me be more productive and on track with my task and my work. I'm an actress and a photographer in LA. My page is Anna Chiobara. I had never said that right, Anna. But everybody follow Anna. Close, I'll take it. Okay, perfect. Everybody, I'm assuming, has their journals and notepads up. The first question that I want you to journal for yourself are, what are your objectives right now, in this moment? What is it that you really want to accomplish? This is the difference of having a clear destination that you're trying to get to, so we can build the path of how to get there. Right now, I want you to think about the what that you want to live in, accomplish, not necessarily all of the reasons why it can't happen or how you're going to do it. Just what is the overall objective? Give you just a couple minutes here. Well, not really a couple minutes. I'll give you maybe 1 minute to start ideating on what this is. Let yourself just say whatever comes to mind first. It's probably what it really is. Don't have to think too in depth on what it actually is. Got lots of stuff going on here in the chat box. Everybody's following each other already on Instagram. Holistic health coaching certifications, real estate. Wow, we have some really powerful, incredible women in this group this morning. That feels so yummy. I love it. Alrighty, we're going to move on to the next prompt. The next question that I want you to answer for yourself is, what are your objectives in the next 90 days? A way that I like to visualize this is saying, okay, ladies, if we were sitting here 90 days from now, and you and I had our coffee, we were sitting at a coffee shop, and we were celebrating all of the beautiful things that you've accomplished, what would you want to be celebrating? What would the thing that you would be so excited to share with me that you did 90 days from now? That's just 3 months. What would be so epic to accomplish in the next 90 days?
To get all my crap together.
If this feels kind of hard, it's okay. This isn't written in stone. Just put something, one thing that you'd really love to accomplish. It doesn't have to be a whole list. All righty. The next question is, what are your objectives in the next year? Same process, but now it's a year from now, not 90 days, a whole year. We're in August of 2023. We have moved from the coffee house and now we're at happy hour. Okay, we are sharing a cocktail and we are just living in the moment of all of the amazing, beautiful things that you've accomplished in this past year. And we are just like almost in tears because we cannot believe we accomplished this in just 1 year's time. We're so proud of ourselves. That is the type of objective you want to be working towards. That thing that just lights you up inside. I'll tell you right now, if we're not working towards tasks that really light us up inside, we are going to continue to just be busy and continue to not feel fulfilled. We want to be moving towards the yummy stuff, the awesome feeling that we know that we deserve. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and move forward, but realize that these are just the 3 questions that you can continue to ask yourself and you can continue to ideate on beyond our hour together here this morning. So what I want to let you know is that as you ideate all of those beautiful, fun things that you will and deserve to accomplish, I'm going to help you actually put them into motion. So you just ideated the what it is, which is sometimes the hardest part of it. Now I want to tell you how to actually execute. So as we get started here, let's shift our mindset. Let's get out of looking in the future and let's get into the present, okay? So systems. There's a lot of different systems that you can use to stay organized. Curious? I'm going to go around and see what everybody is currently using right now. Brene, what are you using to stay organized right now?
Oh, I probably rely a lot on my Google Calendar and the reminders app.
Okay.
Or, you know, the reminders.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds good. Awesome. Ann Munson, what are you using to stay organized right now?
I just moved from a leather-bound calendar book to Google Calendar.
That's awesome. Awesome. Google Calendar babes. Love it. Rosemary, what are you using to stay organized?
Well, let's see. I rarely use a calendar. I'm more of the what's most urgent day-to-day thing right now. I have so many things going on that I just kind of look ahead to what has to be accomplished either that day or that week. And I just kind of tackle things in that way. So very, very much in need of some organization for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Everybody has different systems going on, so it's good to see where everybody's at. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Sarah, if you're able to unmute.
I use Google Calendar also. And then I tend to have this really bad habit of writing things on sticky notes.
Okay.
Get,
Okay.
I
So
get lost.
it's, right? So things are kind of living everywhere, it seems like.
Yeah.
Okay, alrighty. Anna. Can you?
I'm currently using the what's most urgent thing. But also I noticed that writing things down like in my notes and then the satisfaction of like crossing them out is really helpful to me. Just like, wow, I did it. And then just writing things down on a calendar I have hanging up because I have like a lot of auditions and stuff. So I need to stay very organized and see them visually. And it just helps to have like a physical, larger calendar too sometimes.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so we got a multiple system approach over here. Okay. Christina. If you're able to unmute and share. If not, okay, no worries. So we're gonna go ahead. Oh, sorry, in the office, can't talk. No worries. If everybody could just go over to the chat box and share what they're currently using, I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. Awesome. So time to share. We already did that. The systems. So these are my favorites. So for all my Google Calendar babes in here, we are gonna work through Google Calendar. I'm gonna show you how to optimize your Google Calendar in order to make it work for you and how to automate it, which automating is the sexiest word ever to me. I love automating my calendar because that means that you don't have to be constantly the one putting things in, that things can be automated and your calendar can be working for you to where it's almost like you have an assistant at the end of the day because it is that automated. My other favorite system is Trello. So if anybody's ever worked with me, Trello is a really, really great tool to look at the big picture of things a lot of times. So I use my calendar for my hour to hour, my minute to minute, my day to day, but I model it off of what my big objectives are in my Trello board. So we'll be walking through Trello. If you're unfamiliar with it, I'll be showing you what it is today and how you can use it. The other favorite system that I use for staying organized is Calendly. So this is when automation comes into play, where if you are keeping your Google Calendar up to speed, you can use Calendly to help you stay automated and help you stay really, really organized without having to do more work. So these are my three favorite systems that we'll be walking through today. And these are the three main ones that I use in order to automate my calendar and automate my life, really. So as we dive in, there's a couple different questions that you need to ask yourself before we get started using a new calendar system and building some new habits. So question number one that I want you to ask yourself is, am I ready to commit to a calendar system? Truly, you have to ask yourself because it is a commitment at the end of the day, but it's a commitment that's absolutely worth it. I can promise you. If you're willing to commit to it on a continuous basis. Question number two, what do I need my calendar to help me with? What is actually your big pain point and your big struggle right now? Are you missing appointments? Are you missing things to do because it's not living somewhere? Do you have too many things to do and you feel like your to-do list is just literally never ending and you never know what to do when? That you're just kind of grasping at things as they come along and throwing and just doing? Or is it that it's taking a lot of time for you to transfer things to certain areas of your calendar and what's happening in your day-to-day life? What day am I willing to commit to calendar prep? So this is going to be an important one as we talk about building those habits of building your day-to-day calendar, but also having one day for an hour or so that you build your calendar off of every single week. A lot of people like looking at Fridays, Monday mornings. I do mine on Sunday nights, but whatever is going to work for you, that's going to be a decision that we have to make today. And then for the automation section, what we need to ask ourselves is, how do events get put into my calendar? Is it always you adding them versus some kind of automation tool? Can clients book me online? And whenever they do those things get automatically accepted and just put into my calendar? Or is that something I want to review before it gets put into my calendar and accept? Are there any other reoccurring events that we need to add in and be aware of so we can understand what our true capacity is at the end of the day? So these are going to be some of the questions that you want to ask yourself first. Now, the next slide is going to be a lot. I'm going to walk you through each and every step, but don't worry, because right after this, I'm going to show you. So I want to walk you through the step-by-step guide, and then I will show you how to do it. So as we look at planning out our days is going to be the first thing that we do. After planning out our days, we're going to plan out our months, our quarters, and our years. But we have to get into this habitual habit first. So the step-by-step guide is 1, choosing one day a week to set goals and intentions for your weeks, right? What are your goals and intentions week by week? If we were looking at today, for the next week moving forward, what are the things that we really want to accomplish that would be needle moving tasks for us to work towards our ultimate objectives at the end of the day? And for ultimate objectives, we can think 1 year from now, us having happy hour and celebrating those really big wins. I want you to choose what hours are for work versus personal, meaning that we have to set your Google Calendar, because that's really what we're going to be diving into today, for what are going to be the hours you're going to be working and accepting clients, accepting doing work, putting tasks in your calendar, and what's going to be just personal time for you, and deciding on that. We're going to add a full list of to-dos for the week to your task lists in Google. So we're going to use that feature in Google so we can pull things over and know exactly when we're going to get things done. A big gap in people actually getting things done on their to-do list is that it just lives in some kind of list with no exact date or time that you're actually going to do the thing. So we're going to use Google Task List in order to automate some of this into your calendar, so you know exactly when to do the things on your to-do list. We're going to break down bigger tasks into manageable micro tasks using that same feature. We're going to add appointments that are most important and have to happen at specific times first. Then we're going to add secondary appointments that are important but don't have to happen at specific times, but we're going to add them at specific times and dedicate ourselves to accomplishing those at certain times. We're going to give ourselves some space for grace, what Lauren always says, to add in lunch breaks, personal time, walking your dogs, meditating, journaling, all of those things that make you feel charged and full and ready to accomplish all of the other things on your list. We're going to color code, add in those lunch breaks and personal times, but your personal time will be one color, one type of task will be another color, so we can visually see what actually is taking the majority of your time, and we can visually see if the majority of our time is going towards things that actually are moving us to where we need to be. And most importantly, the question that I get all of the time is, I want to remind you that these things are not written in stone. That the beautiful thing about Google Calendar is that we can move and groove it around. At the end of each day, we want to make it a habit to actually move our calendar. And I do this throughout the day as my day is going on, but you can do this just at the end of your day to say, how long did that task actually take me? Right? And where am I actually spending my time? And did I actually do that? Or does that need to move to a different day now because I didn't accomplish it? And asking myself, why didn't I accomplish it? Why didn't I make it a priority? And then being able to move it. And then at the end of the week, this is any strategy that we put in place in our lives, we have to be able to review, analyze, and ask ourselves how we can improve moving forward based on what we actually are looking to accomplish. My big rule in this whole list is that you can only move appointments twice or you have to delete them. Meaning if we're constantly moving something on our calendar every single day, we have to ask ourselves, is it actually a priority? What am I putting ahead of this task? Why am I not accomplishing it? Maybe it's time for me to outsource that particular thing if I'm able to. So the two systems that using in this planning of your days is going to be Google Calendar and Calendly. So as we go into, I want to go into planning weeks. So is anybody, how is everybody feeling about this particular system? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling excited? Is it making sense? Amazing. Love it. Awesome. It all makes sense. Okay, good. It makes me feel good. Want to make sure I'm not speaking gibberish here, and then it's all making sense to everybody. Okay, cool. Awesome. So as we go in here, I've just pulled up a blank calendar and I made a presentation task so we can kind of get started here. So can everybody still see my screen and see the calendar portion of it? Yeah? Okay, so this is Google Calendar for those of you who haven't used Google Calendar before. So I just brought up a blank calendar so we can kind of start with a blank slate if that's how you're starting as well. So we can build out like an ideal week for you. So this is the task list that I was talking about on the right-hand side of Google Calendar. If you look at these 9 little dots up here, there's all these kind of apps that you can use within Google Calendar and within your Google system in general. So some of my favorite ones are Google Tasks, Google Keep, Google Calendar, obviously, in order to help me stay organized. So we'll talk through Google Tasks and Google Calendar. So let's start to build my ideal week. So here you can see I already have some things in my calendar that are there every single day, or every single week rather. So I have accountability club meetings, which is our Forward Female Accountability Club meetings with all of our amazing community members that we pop on for 30 minutes and get inspired and motivated to start our weeks and stay accountable. So that's something I'm definitely going to attend every single week on Monday and Friday from 9:30 to 10. Additionally, I had this lovely workshop this week, so I definitely was going to attend that. So that is in my calendar here in blue. So I know all Forward Female things are this blue color. Now let's say that I need to start building my ideal week. I know that every single Monday through Friday, I have a morning meditation routine that makes me have like the best start to my day. And I can't not do that. And that kind of takes me like 2 hours to do that full meditation routine and get my day started right so I can have a good rest of the day. So I would put morning routine as an event I would say that this is a repeating event, Monday, every weekday, Monday through Friday. And this, I'm going to make it the color flamingo because that's my personal time. So everything that's flamingo color is Priscilla's personal time that I can start to visualize how much I'm spending time for me, right? So I'm going to save that. Now, now you can see all of my calendar, right? I wonder, I know why it didn't do that. Well, let's see here. It's doing it because it wants to add it to my my actual calendar. Morning routine. We're going to add it into, we'll add it into Gabby's calendar. So in Gabby's calendar, you can see that we have her lunches every single day from 12 to 1. The morning routine, we didn't do it from Monday to Friday, so we can come in here and edit it to say it repeats every weekday, Monday through Friday, and we save it. So now you can see how it starts to show up, right? So in the calendar, I can say, okay, so my morning routine takes this long, my lunch takes this long. So all of that time that I thought I had in the morning to accomplish all of those different tasks I only have a couple hours to actually accomplish them. And whenever I fill my days with Accountability Club and this workshop and this, I don't have as much time. I'm going to end my days around 6 p.m. saying this is going to be my dinner time. I do this actually in my calendar to where I know when is my actual cutoff time, to where I am not going to do any more work unless it's actually necessary. So I'm going to put dinner in here. I'm going to say that is a personal task as well. And that happens every day from Monday through Friday. I have dinners in here. So we can start to see what is the actual capacity that I have to accomplish things that I need to accomplish. So what I will do is I'll come over here and I'll say I need to send email to X. I need to text my client. I need to pay that invoice, right? All of these different things that start to fill up your day. You can say, okay, all of these things are things I need to get done. You can pull them over literally into your calendar to say, when are you actually going to start getting them done? And assign them to days of your week. And then for all of my gals that like to just mark things off as complete, you literally can click them and mark as complete as you start to get them done. Okay, so if you're a list person and you like to just check things off in your calendar, this is going to be a really great system for you to kind of integrate those two things. Now, as you start to think about the needle moving tasks, so we build this whole week and we say, okay, I look at my calendar and I say, what did I actually accomplish this week? What did I actually do? I sent a lot of emails. I paid that invoice. I texted my client. I took lunch every single day. I did my morning routine every day, and I ended my dinner. But what was the rest of my day filled with? Was it filled with client consultations? Was it filled with outreach to get that new boutique onboarded into my system? Was it filled with systemizing my business? Was it filled with sending invoices? Was it filled with driving around town all day long and not really getting anything done? Was it filled with a ton of personal tasks? And that's why I really don't feel like I got much done in my business this week. So we can start to see, where are we visually spending the most of our time? I challenge you to try this system for at least 1 week. putting everything in your Google Calendar, all of the tasks that you have on that to-do list, living on sticky notes somewhere, living in a notebook somewhere, putting them over in Google Tasks and literally assigning them to a time that you're actually going to get them done. And then asking yourself, did that make me feel more productive? The other thing that this will help you do is understand where your capacity actually lies. I know that a lot of us I'll speak for myself, right? Where you want to be that yes person and you want to say, yeah, I have capacity to do that. Yeah, I can get that accomplished by the end of the week, or you'll have that by the end of the day, no stress. But whenever we're actually actively using this Google Calendar system, you're able to look in and say, actually, I can't get that to you until Thursday. I don't have any time on my calendar because I have these other priorities that are happening right now. Or actually, I can't get that to you till next week because I know that I really don't have any capacity to actually get that done until then. Now, if that thing needs to go out by tomorrow, this will help you take control of your calendar and say, what needs to move in order for me to accomplish that? And those are the important questions that you can start asking yourself, to where somebody else isn't in control of telling you what to do, and you're in control of telling them what you actually can do, which will help you feel less overwhelmed, more in control, and more productive. And I know those are all of the things that'll make us feel extra yummy at the end of the day. So I'm gonna call on some people to kind of see how we're feeling with this. Molina.
Yes. I have a question which I think will be answered later. I have multiple Google calendars, unfortunately. One for a personal brand, one for a nonprofit, another one for another personal brand. Is there a way to mesh them, but the outside world not seeing the other calendar? I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense. So how you'll do that is whenever you, so I have a lot of those too. One, you can see all of these calendars here on the left-hand side that I'm a part of, that I can see, that I can toggle in and out of to understand what is actually happening. So if you want to pick your one calendar that you're, maybe the calendar that you're always logged into, or the Gmail that you're always logged into. So mine is my Ford Female calendar. So after that, I can say, okay, what other calendars do I want to integrate into this one and be able to toggle back and forth between to understand what is actually happening in all of these other places, right? So to do that, you can add other calendars here. So if you see this other calendars and this little plus sign, you can subscribe to a calendar. So you can subscribe to the other one that you're an admin of, essentially. So you would subscribe, and you would put what that calendar is here. Does that make sense, Melina?
It does. I mean, it's simple, it's there, but never noticed it.
Yeah, well, good, right? It's like those little things that can make the biggest difference at the end of the day. So then you would, whenever you're going to input things into your calendar, just like I was doing earlier, whenever I was clicking Gabby's calendar versus my calendar and those different things, whenever you're adding something in, you would come over here and you would say, okay, what calendar do I want to add this into? So you know where you want it to show up. Okay. And then you can choose the color that would be associated with that too. Cool. All righty. Steph, are you there? And is this making sense to you?
Yeah, everything's looking really good to me. I also noticed that there's like a habit tracker at the top. I was curious about that.
The habit track, this?
Yeah, at the top I see like a gratitude list, take vitamins, like it's
Oh,
yeah. Like I was just like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
oh my, yeah. So those are my reoccurring tasks up here. So these are my tasks that I make sure that I check off every single day. And it actually helps me look at it in a habit view to where whenever I toggle between my week and my month, I can see when I actually did those things. So I am like the worst pill taker known on the face of this planet, to where I just cannot take the same pill every single day, even if I have them sitting right here as like my vitamins. So I put them as a habit in my calendar and say, okay, I know I'm looking at this thing every single day. And I can say, okay, y'all can even see these things that I'm like visually, I'm like, okay, I took it on Tuesday and then I missed them all this time. And then I took them yesterday. And so maybe that's why I have a headache today, right? And I'm able to visually see. My gratitude list is another thing that like I'm really working on actively doing. I say it every day, but I'm really working on writing it down and putting it on a sticky note on my computer so I can remind myself how grateful I am every single day. And I know that'll help me be on a higher vibration to help more people. So good question is another little tip that you can use within this. Any other questions before we move along? And does all of this make sense? Cool. Okay. So the big thing that I want you to do from today, and the task that I give everybody in our community and every single one of my coaching clients, is commit to it for a week for me, right? Just commit to a week. I don't want you to feel like this is a thing that you have to do the rest of your life, but come in and commit to a week to tracking your time from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. After that week, I want you to take a visual record of where you're spending the most time. You are smart, capable women and men, maybe Edward, sorry, that you know exactly what you need to do. I promise you, even if it doesn't feel like it, in order to be more productive, to accomplish the things that you really want to accomplish in life. You are just unaware because you're so busy of what you're actually doing to accomplish those things, which is why you're probably not as productive as you'd like to be. You're a little productive, but maybe not as productive as you'd like to be. You know what needs to happen in order for those big dreams to come to life, but you're not giving your time, energy, or effort towards the things to actually make it happen. Take control of your time, take control of your calendar, put it in, stay committed, and I promise you, you will start to see the results if you actually take action and know when to do it. Okay, so let's come back over to this presentation, shall we? So as we get into planning your quarters and your years, I like to use Trello. This is kind of more of like an overview standpoint to where I can start to visualize what my objectives are month over month, quarter over quarter, and over the year. So as you come into here, you're setting those goals, intentions for month, quarter, year. You're going to be making checklists. We all like checklists to break down those bigger tasks, those bigger objectives into more manageable micro tasks that we can bring over into our Google Calendar to know that these are the tasks that will make us more productive to accomplish those big objectives. So it's helping us get all of those ideas and all of that knowledge out of our head and somewhere else to where we know exactly what to put into our calendar that'll make us be more productive. Another thing in this is reviewing the progress monthly, quarterly, spelled quarterly wrong, and yearly to be able to get to where you want to go. So let's go ahead and dive in to the quarter. So I made a just blank Trello board here. So Trello is a project management system. There's a million different ways that you can use it, but this is just like a simple way to get started. In here, there's lists and there's cards. So objectives, pending, month, month, month. These are all of the list. The cards are what we can build in to say what our objectives are. So reach 100K. That's It's a big task. I see a lot of people trying to accomplish all the time. You want to hit 6 figures, okay? What else do we want to accomplish? We want to become best-selling author. What else do we want to accomplish? We want to, anybody else have anything that you want to accomplish that we could put in here? Any other big goals, dreams? None? We're not dreaming? Launch an application. All right. Get in shape. Lose. So get in shape is more like lose 5 pounds. Oop. We want our goals to be specific. Okay. So, or like maybe it's like, this was one of mine at the beginning of the year. Be able to do 15 push-ups. I was like, I could even do 1 push-up, right? Or like that seemed so obscure to me. So what do I need to do in order to be able to do that? These are the questions that we start asking ourselves. So that's whenever we were saying, what is it that, like, if we were sitting here at a coffee shop in 90 days, what would we want to say? Girl, I just lost 10 pounds. I'm doing 15 push-ups. I just got 100K in revenue. My book, I launched it and it became a bestseller. Like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. And I would be like, I'm so proud of you too, right? So these are the things that we want to say, I accomplished this, I accomplished it, I accomplished it. So whenever we're looking at these type of goals, this is after it when we start breaking it down. So we say, okay, we can't accomplish all of these objectives all at once, right? That's a lot of objectives that we want to accomplish. What is the most realistic way that we can start laying these out month by month? So we look at August, September, October, right? We say, okay, we feel like over the next 3 months, I can accomplish any of these, maybe losing 5 pounds, right? Maybe in September. By September, we lose that 5 pounds. But what needs to happen in order for me to start doing that? I need to probably, these are just like things that I'm throwing out. Hire personal trainer, work out 3 days a week, meal prep, Sunday nights. You start thinking of all of the things that it's actually going to take in order for you to actually accomplish that thing. So all of these things, but the problem is that they're living all in your head right now. So you have to be able to set the objective, put what all of those objectives are that actually need to happen and when do they need to start happening. So we set the objective at the beginning of the month. And we come back to our Google Calendar and we start putting all of these things into calendar and seeing if we actually have the capacity to get that objective done, to where at the end of the month, we don't say, oh, why didn't that happen? I just don't have time. You say, well, I don't have time right now, but I know when I do start to have time and I know when that is going to happen. And you start putting these due dates on them in your Trello and in your Google Calendar to where they can actually become a reality. So these can be different for all of the different life goals that you have and specifically for your business in order for you to accomplish them. If we're saying our goal is to reach 100K, what is it going to take for you to actually reach 100K? What are your services right now? What is it that you sell? What are the products? How many of them do you need to sell in order to reach that 100K? How many accounts do we need to lock in? How many accounts can we lock in month over month over month to where we know when we can reach that 100K? And if we don't reach the 100K, we know why we didn't reach it. It's because we didn't get those 3 accounts a month, or maybe we need to raise our prices. We can start to ideate on what that is and re-strategize month over month is what I would suggest. So I know this was like just a quick overview of how you can start to use these different systems, and you can use them however it works best for you, to where you understand it and you will commit to it, where it's not too overwhelming and confusing, but just get started, because that's the hardest part of it all.